Yeah. Hi guys, good morning. Let me share my screen. Yeah. In yesterday class, like we have discussed about this cardinality types and all, right? Like under cross filtering direction means like entire like a data modeling part, like how we have to create the relationships between the tables and all we have discussed. Okay. Yesterday, like someone was asking about like in the real time how we can create the relationships. In the real time, like how it will be things and all. Okay, that we'll see today. First of all, okay, let me open VBA. Yeah. In the real time, okay, let's assume like one new project got started. Okay, one new project. Set. And uh, like a report one. Okay. Okay, one new project started and uh, one new report you have to create. Like how you have to start means first you will be having the meeting with uh, business analyst and your project manager and the client will be there. Okay, they'll be uh, they'll be giving one some PPT. Okay, PPT or Word document. Okay, they'll be explaining all the details with the PPT, like how they are expecting. Okay, in this report, in report one, what and all, like what kind of like what are the tables? Okay, in that PPT. Okay, they'll give like table names also. I mean, which are the tables you have to refer for creating that report. Hmm? And they'll give column names. Columns means column names they'll give you. And they'll give some logic, business logics. Okay, they'll give business logics. And they'll give some like which kind of graphs they're expecting, which kind of visuals, kind of visuals. Okay, in that PPT. Okay, they'll give like what are the tables we have to refer for creating that report, and what are the columns we have to refer from that tables. Some business logics, like how we need to calculate the sum of the columns. The business logics, like how they are following the logics and all. The logics they'll give you. Kind of visuals, like which kind of visuals we need to use for that report. That entire details they'll be giving in the PPT. Okay, as well as they'll explain you like each and every step, like for one visual. Okay, for example, if you take one visual one, well, one in visual one, like which kind of visual, like example, if you take bar chart. hmm, Bar chart or pie chart, like donut, whatever it is. Okay, if you take visual one, in the bar chart, like what are the columns we have to use it. huh? If we have any logic. Okay, okay, they'll give some logic also. One second, guys. Yeah. Okay, so like this, they'll give in PPT all the details and they'll explain you each and every visual, like in one visual, like what they are expecting actually. Hmm? What are the columns we have to use it. If any logics for that visual, okay, they'll explain some business logics and all. Okay, same logics you have to implement in Power BI also. Like, okay, in Power BI we have DAX functions, right? By writing that DAX functions, we can implement the logics and all. That we'll come to know step by step. Okay. Okay. For creating this report one, okay, let's assume you have to refer some 5 tables. Okay, some 5 tables. Okay, like how you load these 5 tables into the Power BI first. In the real time, we'll be having some 300 to 400 columns in a table. In one table, we may have 300 to 400 columns, but we no need all these columns. Okay, we may require just 5 or 10 columns from one table. Okay, like 10 or 15. Okay, maybe, okay, max, so we can take like 15. Okay, 15 columns. Okay, let's assume 15 columns. Okay, okay, if you want to load one table, okay, I'll mention one table. I'm telling like in the real time how we can plan it, everything and all. Okay, I'm telling in one table we are having 300 to 400 columns, but we may require just like a 10 or 15 columns only from one table. Okay, in the query we'll write the query for getting only those 15 columns. We will not load entire table into the Power BI, because if we load entire table, we have like a more data, right? Like a 300 to 400 columns. It may take a lot of time to load the table into the Power BI. That's why we have to write the query for getting only those 10 or 15 columns. Okay, we have to write the query, but in the query we have to mention the column names, right? Like what are the columns we may require. Huh? Obviously they'll be giving it columns also here, but in the real time the actual columns will be different. Okay, like in the like how in the real time how will be that the column names means, okay, id underscore number underscore something. Okay, like this, like a lot of underscores. Okay, mainly we'll not see any gaps between like id space number. In the real time database, like we'll be not having any space between like this id space number. We'll not see such a kind of columns in the database. In the database, like wherever like a space, like they'll give some underscore or hyphen, different like that they'll give you. Okay, so now how we will come to know these column names, actual column names. uh, when we have like this kind of large like more columns and all, how we need to get that column names, only that 15 column names means. Now I'll show you like in the practically. Go to the Power BI. In Power BI, okay, here get data tab is there, right? Okay, here I'm selecting SQL Server. Okay, let me enter my server name. Where is that? Yeah, I'm just entering the server name and the database name. Okay, now here advanced option is there, right? Here we will be writing the SQL query. Okay, in Power BI only we'll be writing the SQL query. Like we have separate class for the SQL also. Okay, by that time we will discuss like in detail about SQL queries and all. But as of now, like in the real time, like how we can manage while getting the data and all, we'll see now. Okay, as per our scenario, okay, we have 3 to 400 columns, but we may record only 15. That 15 columns, how we will find out? Okay, that names will be different in the real time. Okay, by that time what we can do, for anyway you know like a table name, right? Okay, by that time what you can write, select top 10 star from table name we have to give it. Okay, in my database my table name is like that. Okay, like double quotes, bracket, like this I have it in my database. That's why I'm pasting the same table name. Anyway they'll be giving table name for you. Okay, so in the same way, why we are writing this top 10 star from this table, when we have like a 300 to 400 columns, will be let's assume like we have like 1 million rows. If we load like a 300 to 400 columns and 1 million rows, it will take a lot of time. That's why I'm taking only 10 rows. If I take a 10 rows, we'll get all the columns. In that data we can see that the actual column names. Okay, now let me click OK. Yeah, you see, now you can see we have, let's assume like we have 300 400 columns. If you have 300 or 400 or 500 columns, anyway we are taking only 10 rows, so it will give the result very fast. Like if we have, let's assume we have like 400 like 1 million rows, it may take a lot of time. Okay, now load this data into Power BI. Yeah, it's loading. Yeah, it's loaded. Now if we go to the data tab, okay, you can see the data now. Okay, now we have loaded just only 10 rows. Okay, now what you have to do is copy that table and paste into the Excel. Okay, like in our database, like we have only a few columns in my database. Okay, in the real time you may have 300 to 400 columns, but you may record only 10 or 15. Okay, when we have like more columns and all, what you have to do means you have to select like what are the columns you required. In the like PPT they'll give you, right, like what are the columns you have to refer. By the time what you can do, you can select it, you put some color. Okay, I don't want row ID, I need order ID, I need order date also. Okay, I don't want ship date. Okay, I want ship mode. I want customer name. I want segment. Okay, I want product ID. Okay, I want sales. I want this all like a profit and discount also I want. Okay, so like this you can take these columns, like whatever columns we require, no, those columns only you can separate it. Okay, you don't want this, right? Okay, how we can copy that and come to the second page, you can transpose it. Okay, go to this paste option in Excel. Okay, in the real time how we can do is that we are doing, go to the paste special. We have option called transpose. Yeah, last one.
Last option.
Yeah, if you transpose, you can see now if you filter with like colors. Okay, only I want green color, right? See, these are the columns I need. Okay, copy that columns and paste somewhere. Now in the query you can write it in SQL query. you can write it the select statement. If you write the select statement, in the select statement you can mention all these columns. Okay, if you mention these columns, you get only these columns only. Okay, you don't want some 300 400 columns, you know, no need to load entire data. Okay, if you write this column names, you get it this columns only. Okay, in the same way, real time also we'll be doing in the same way. Okay, once you, okay, here we are taking one table example, right? For all the tables, for remaining, like remaining we have 4 tables, right? For the remaining 4 tables also, you'll be doing in the same way. First, for each and every table, you have to note down what are the columns you required from each table. Okay, first you have to take that column names and all from each and every table. Then you have to write the query for separate. I mean, for one table loading, you have to write separate query. Okay, let's assume like that how to write the select statements in I mean SQL queries and all, that is separate. We have class there, I'll explain clearly. Okay, now let's assume like we have loaded, we have written query, and we have loaded one table like this only with the 15 columns. Once we load that table, okay, once we load the table means what we will do means we'll do the data transformations in the real time first. Okay, I'm explaining. After writing the query, let's assume we have loaded only these few columns, like whatever we required in the for the project. Okay, once we load the data, go to the transform. This is separate window. This is like a power query editor. We can we'll call it as a power query editor. Here we will do the lot of transformations like ETL transformations, like any duplication remove. If you right click here, lot of options we have it, remove duplicates, remove columns. Okay, from here also, like if you want to remove any columns, like unwanted columns, we can remove from here also. Okay, this is separate concept. If I explain now only, okay, people will get confused. Okay, in the real time flow, we'll do some of the data transformations here. Once we done this data transformation and all, okay, again we'll go back to the Power BI. Okay, I'll give the close and apply here. Okay, we have not done any transformation, that is separate clause is there. Okay, I'll explain clearly. Once we done the some transformations and all, we can create the relationship between the tables. Okay, let's assume we have, for all the 5 tables, we took, I mean we have taken, let's assume like we captured all the column names for all the 5 tables, and we loaded for we created 5 queries, and we loaded the 5 tables into the Power BI. Okay, once we load all the 5 tables, we'll do some data transformations. Okay, then we'll start creating the modeling. Okay, that is a real time scenario. Okay, anyway, the data transformations we'll explain later. Now I'll close this, and I'll take new PBX file, and I'll load some 4 or 5 tables, and then we'll create the relationships. Okay, let me open this. It takes some water. Yeah, for practicing, like yesterday I have sent like some um, sample data files also. Okay, you can load that Excel files and you can practice it. Okay, okay, let me load some. Okay, let me load from SQL only. in the real time also they'll be giving like this server and database name and credentials also. By using that, you can load the tables. Okay. Once I click OK, whatever I can see the list of tables which we have in that particular database. Okay. It's running in the back end. Okay. Here I'll select orders fact, product dim, and I'll select the location and select product 2. Yeah, I just selected some 4 columns. Okay, I just loading. Actually, once we load the data under, like we have to do some lot of analysis and all. Then only you can come to know what is the common key between the tables. Now we have loaded 4 tables, right? Okay, you can adjust it wherever we want. Okay, if you want, you can reduce the size here. We have, okay, I'll taking here. Okay, we have other table. This one. Okay, I'll keep it here. Yeah. So now let's assume like in one project, like for creating one report, okay, they have given 4 tables. Okay, 4. How you are loading that 4 tables means already we have seen, like we have to take only selected columns. By writing the SQL query, we load only that selected. Let's assume only selected columns only we have loaded from each table. Okay, now we have to create the relationship between each and every table. Now first we have to analyze. Go to the data here. Go to the data. You can see the orders table, right? Orders. First, I want to build the relationship between orders table and product table. Okay, in this table, we know like order date is there. Sorry, order ID. Order ID we have it. When you don't know like what is the common key between the both the tables, like anyway in the real time also the database team will be there. If you ask with them, like they'll be maintaining all the schema, like how they'll be maintaining means, let's assume in entire organizational data, let's assume some entire organizational data, they'll be having some 50 tables. Okay, the 50 tables they have created in the server. Okay, in the server, while storing the tables into the server, okay, they'll be maintaining some architecture, like uh, for each and every table, like what is the common key between the table, like that they'll be having some full architecture, like each and every table, like for the 50 tables, like for each and every table, what is the common key, they'll be maintaining that details, like a database team will be maintaining the details. If you ask with the database team, they'll be give you, like else you can analyze yourself also. If you unable to find the common key between the both the tables, so you can ask with the database team, they'll give you what is the common key between the table. Okay, in this scenario we know like what is the common key here, order ID we have it. We go to the product table, here also we have product ID. Now I'll build the relationship. Okay, how we are getting relationship here, you can see manage relationship here. Okay, click manage relationship, new, I'll select orders fact, and I'll select product dim. I'll select this orders, I'll select this, and I'll click OK. Okay, Yeah, the relationship created now. Okay, the relationship it's created like many to many. Okay, because order ID. Oh, sorry, we have created based on order ID to product ID. Is it correct? Order ID, product ID, we have it. Okay, let me check. We have any product ID here? Okay, yeah. Sorry, in the both the tables we have common key only like a product ID, not order ID. Product ID. In the both the tables we have common key is the product ID. Okay, so we have selected product ID. I'll click OK. Next, I want to build the relationship between location table. Okay, I'll go to the location table. I'll go to left side in the tab data window. Always like we'll be using these three tabs. Okay, first one is the report, data, modeling. Okay, in this table, like first one, if you take here, we will create the visuals here. Here we can see the data. Here in this we can create the relationship. Okay, now we have to create the relationship with location table, right? If we come to the location table like we have postal code, and if you go to the main table, yeah, here also we have postal code. Okay, let's create one another relationship. Go to the manage relationship, take new, and here I'll selecting orders fact and location table. The common key is postal code. Okay, from here select postal code. In the top table also you select postal code. Okay, now click OK, close it. It's relationship created. I have another one like product 2. I'll go to the product 2. Here also we are having product ID. So now we will build the relationship between product 2 and orders fact. Okay, now take manage relationship. I'm taking new. Here I'm selecting orders fact and I'm selecting product 2. The common keys product ID, okay. Yeah, yesterday I think this part you clear. I think yesterday we have discussed clearly cardinality type and cross filtering direction. Okay, click OK. See, now with each and every table the relationship got created. In the real time also same way. Once you load some 4-5 tables, whatever you require, you have to create the relationship between tables like this. Once you done with this relationship creations and all, we can start creating the reports. Reports nothing but like visuals. Okay, let me store this file. I'm giving name sample report. Okay, click OK. Now go to the report. Yeah, now we have loaded all the tables and now we can start creating the visuals. Okay, 1 second guys. One second, let me. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay. We have created the relationship between the tables and all. Okay, now we can start creating the visuals. Okay, how we will create the visuals? Okay, in the right side, you can see these fields, like whatever the tables we have loaded now, we can see all the tables here. Okay, this is the visualizations, like visualizations, like we have different visualizations. You can see stacked bar chart, hmm, stacked column chart. When you mouse over there, you can see that name, that visual names and all, you can see it. Okay, clustered column chart, 100% stacked bar chart, 100% stacked column chart. If you come to down, okay, stacked area chart. If you come down, quarter chart, pie chart, donut. So like this, we have lot of visuals here. Okay, we'll be discussing like all the visuals also. Okay, here like we are having like here we can drag and drop the visual like values and all fields. Okay, okay, we'll see practically. If you take like bar chart, okay, let me take one bar chart. I mean, from here like we can start creating the visuals. Okay, now I took just first one, like a stacked bar chart. I took it. Okay, filters. Okay, let me edit this filter. I just taken like a stacked bar chart now. Okay, for the stacked bar chart, you can see in the down, like now you can see these are the fields, like these are the fields, like we can add it in the down. If you click right side, you can see format. These are the format button. If you click the format button, you can see the list of formats. Okay, as of now we have not added any columns, that's why it's not showing. We'll add some column. Okay, now in the down you can see y-axis, x-axis, legends, small multiples, tooltip. We'll see clearly now. Okay, one by one. Now let me add sales, and I'll add some region. Okay, so region I want to see the region wise sales. If I select sales, by default it's coming to x-axis. If I select the region, by default it's coming to y-axis. Okay, columns and all. Okay, uh, let me unselect everything. The columns, how you can, if you want, you can drag it like sales. See, I'm dragging. I'm dragging that sales to this visual. Okay, if you want, like you can drag it simply. That is one option. And let me remove. If you want, just if you want to click on this box, okay, tick box. If you click on that tick box, by default, it's coming to the x-axis. Okay, you can drag it, else you can select it, else you can drag to here also, x-axis. You can see from here, you can drag it to x-axis. In the same way, all the fields we can do it in the same way. If you want, you can drag it on top of that visual, else you can drag it to this box, or you can select it. These are the three ways to select the columns. Okay, next, y-axis. Okay, for the y-axis, in the y-axis we need region, right? Region we have other in region is we have in another table. Okay, that is location. Okay, let me, okay, if you want, you can drag it like this, else you can drag it to here. See, once you drag it, it's showing by default it's selecting to y axis. Okay, like if you want to, I mean, if you want to show the sales in y axis, region in x axis, we can change it. Okay, let me remove. Okay, I just putting region into y x axis. Okay, the sales into the y axis. See how it's showing. Okay, by default Power BI will move the columns into the correct axis. Like ఏ యాక్సెస్ అయితే సూట్ అవుతుందో ఆ పర్టికులర్ కాలమ్స్ కి, ఆ యాక్సెస్ కి బై డిఫాల్ట్ నువ్వు సెలెక్ట్ చేయగానే మనకి బై డిఫాల్ట్ జస్ట్ ఇట్లా క్లిక్ చేయగానే ఆ ఫీల్డ్ కి మూవ్ అయిపోతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, ఆ ఫీల్డ్స్ కి మూవ్ అయిపోతాయి. సో region should be in y axis, sales should be x axis. Okay, so select sales here and you can edit. See this table, right? In this table, like we are having this list of column. If you want to hide it, okay, this arrow mark is there, right? Click on that arrow mark, you can see other tables. From here in y axis we have to take region. Okay, see this is the correct way. In y axis we have to show the region and x axis sales. What is this x axis y axis means? Like if you have anyone like have any doubt, okay, in the down, like we have this, right? This is the x axis. In the left side we have, right, this we can call it as like y axis. Okay, now we can see we have added now about like y axis, x axis and all. Now we have legends.